Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates just went down, and man, was I wrong. Yeah, no, Ian Garry blew me out of the water. Like, I'm watching that, and I'm like, it's hard to believe. Like, you're seeing Carlos Prates get outstruck, in rounds 1 through 4, and I'm like, in my head, in my prediction, I was like, okay, the only way Ian Garry wins is he's probably gonna have to wrestle a lot, pin him against the fence like he did with MVP, not engage, and I'm just like, I'm watching, and it's like Carlos Prates is cleanly getting outstruck. That's the thing. Ian Gary's not a nuclear power puncher, so it's not like Carlos Prates is like, oh, getting fucking 10-8 or anything like that. But no, it was impressive nonetheless. And after the fight, I see a few brain dead comments. They're like, yeah, Ian Garry was running. Blah, blah, blah. Bruh. It's time to give respect to Ian Garry. He did not run that fight. He fought. Like, that's the thing. He's not Taporia. He's not going to stand in the pocket and just wing. That's not his style. We can't expect everyone to have the same highlight reel, the same style as, Taporia or, fucking Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to have a little more respect for these guys' style. And not all these guys want to go in and get into a fucking bar fight every time. That's not what people want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's called fight IQ. Ian Garry, he did not run. Sure, he did his combinations and then he circled out to the left. He's not going to let Carlos Prates just tee off on him. Why would he let him do that? Carlos Prates is very fucking dangerous, man. He's not to be played with. And then to go see like all these comments as well, it's like people are shitting on Prates and all that. Like, man, you like that's the thing. I'm not a very loud guy when it comes to social media and all that stuff. Like, you'll never see me in the comments. You'll never see me like, even if I go to events, I'm not yelling, I'm not screaming. I'm definitely more reserved in that sense. And I get the UFC fans, they're a lot more rowdy than your average, sports fans, I guess, compared to like, I don't know about like football and all that, because I hear they get a little rowdy, but not whatever. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, it really bothers me when people immediately jump off hype trains and immediately start shitting on the guy and just, almost like betrayal. And I know you're not like friends or whatever with the guy, but like, show some respect to these guys. Neither one of these guys had to fight this weekend. Neither one. Prates was supposed to fight on the Volt card, 3-rounder. He decided to go fight on this one 5-rounder. And Ian Garry, I think he was saying he got this fight, 20 days notice or something like that. He did not have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a title fight in a year or so from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just drives me up the wall. And that's the thing. Ian Garry, let's talk about him. Am I an Ian Garry fan? Yes. Is he my top fighter? No. Is he my top 5 favorite fighters? Probably not, no. But you cannot continue to disrespect this guy. Like, I'm watching the press conference and shit. It's like, and sure, when he opens his mouth, it's like, oh my God. But, like, I feel for the guy. Like, every time he goes up, it's like, boo, boo. It's like, the guy's not a fucking monster. Do I agree with his life decisions and the shit he says most of the time? Fuck no. Fuck no. But guess what? He's active. He shows up to fight. Sure, is every performance a fucking Ilya Taporia bar burner knocking out the tip of the spear? No. But he shows up. He wants to fight. He's getting better. And that's the thing. Like, it's not like he did anything really crazy bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said some stupid shit. He made some shitty decisions, and that's my opinion. Like, you can have your perspective, whatever you want. It's all subjective at the end of the day. But no, I think it's time to respect him a bit more, Like, if you fucking hate the guy, so be it. But I don't want to see the guy get booed every goddamn time, man. Like, it's just, it sucks because it's like, I think he wants to be liked, and that's the thing. By all means, am I saying go cheer for the guy and, like, be like, ha ha ha? No, I'm not saying that. But I wish the fans were a bit nicer to the guy. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna sound like some tree hugging pussy here, but like, I'm sorry. I want to see him get the love he deserves. Like, he showed up twice, short notice, to face fucking killers, and like divisional bogeymans, just to entertain the fans. And obviously, he's getting paid. I get that, but like, puts it all on the line, to save the UFC's ass, taking on Pereira's footsteps or whatever, following his footsteps. And I hope to see in the future that people really respect him. And that's the thing, like I said, sure, he got dropped in the end. Well, not dropped, but like rocked, and he was like close to getting finished. But he toughed it out. He found his way through, and I'm just so impressed with the guy. And he's gonna weigh up for the Montreal thing. I don't think he should do that. I think he should take some time off. He wants to do it because he demanded it from the UFC, because he's like, hey, I'm saving your guys' ass. By all means, hey, you want to do it, but I don't think the double weight cut's great. I don't think that's especially in such short time. I get he's not a behemoth. He's tall, but he's not like jacked for the division. But no, I don't like the immediate weight cut. Especially, it's time to stop doing these short notice things. It's time to get full camp, because I want to. That's the thing. Great performance, but I'd like to start seeing finishes on these high level, because that's how you get the superstar points. And that's the thing. Like, it's great and all for him showing up. By all means, you can't take anything away from the guy, but that's the thing. To play the devil's advocate, I would like to see some finishes at the elite level from Ian Garry. Because like I said, it's nice to get finishes on the up and coming, and you see both their highlight reels, but it's time to get some finishes at the top level. And and that's the thing. Carlos Prates, he's not done. He's not going anywhere. I think he's only 31. He just needs to make some tactical adjustments, put down the darts, and get more, instead of plotting, work on cutting off the cage and engaging a bit more, especially because it's like you're not going at these smaller guys who aren't as quick. Like Ian Garry, you got to worry about the Ian Garrys, the Shavkats in the upper echelon of the division. So yeah, Carlos Prates, he's not going anywhere. I think some tactical adjustments, maybe a bit of adjustments in the training department. Other than that, I think he's still really good. I think he's definitely top 10. We'll see how he comes back from this. We'll see whether he's top 5. I think he very well could be, but we got to see him against another opponent. It wasn't a fucking war, so we're not going to see these guys take a huge time off. It's I'm just excited to see what's next for both of them, especially Prates. I think Ian Garry, he's campaigning for the title shot. That's up to the UFC if they want to give it to him. It is what it is. I wouldn't hate seeing him get the title shot, but depending on how Buckley looks against Usman, I think he could probably leapfrog him. Depending on whether the JDM fight and Bilal goes the way I think it will, I think Bilal should be probably turning around relatively soon, probably in October, September, maybe around there. But no. Next, we got Anthony Smith versus Zhang Minyang. Not a surprise here. Like I said in the beginning, or my predictions, I wanted to be nice. I wanted to be respectful to Anthony Smith. I said round 2, but I was thinking round 1. Not a great look for Anthony Smith. Pissing out blood. Got battered. I don't know. People are a little too liberal when it comes to legend. Like, people are like, oh, what a legendary career and all that. That's the thing. People got pissed off with DC for saying like, oh, let's, gatekeep the Hall of Fame a bit more. I think, I don't think Anthony Smith's career was legendary. He had his good wins. That's I just don't think it was a legendary career. Like, I don't want to bash the guy. I'm not going to be disrespectful or whatever. But yeah, what does he have? Like 20 something losses or whatever. I'm sorry. He had a decent career. I'm just happy. I'm not going to ramble, but I think I'm happy he's retired. He's not taking any more punishment. That's the thing. Same thing with Ian Garry. He opens his mouth. It's like, oh, he has so many takes where it's just like, oh my god. And I don't know. I really hope that Anthony Smith uh, stops having all these diluted takes. Because even after the fight, he's like, yeah, 5 years ago it was be different. No, when I'm sorry, like Smith, I'm happy you put down the gloves, but I think I don't know. Maybe you have to be a delusional optimist when it comes to being fighters, but no, I think Anthony Smith is a bit too much for his own good, and I think on paper Anthony Smith is a lot different than Anthony Smith himself. And no, it's I'm glad to see him stop. I think for whatever amount of fans he had, I think they should be happy too that he's done. Acting like he was gonna be a champion, bro. What are we doing? Like, I'm sorry. I'm just all respect to Anthony Smith. You put it on the line, but I'm glad he's done. Zhang Minyang, future's looking bright for him. He's a great finish. Sure, it's Anthony Smith, so it's like, we don't really know how good he is yet. We'll see what happens next for Zhang. I like the energy. I like, he's like screaming after the fight. He's like, Dana, give me whatever next. Like, we need some stars. We need some movement in the light heavyweight division. I'm very excited to see what's next for him. I'm just, yeah, this went how everyone thought it would. What were the odds? Like minus 500 for Zhang. So no surprises here. Yeah, I'm just glad Smith's done. No more have to see that kind of shit. Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. David Onama looked good. Giga rocked him. And, David Onama was able to recover. I thought David Onama was going to win. Wasn't really too familiar with David Onama. I just didn't really trust Giga. And man, one thing I gotta say about this fight, Giga, how do you have no answer for the ground, bro? Like, that just drives me up the fucking wall. When fighters get, whether it's like Bryce Mitchell, where they have nothing on the feet, or Giga, where nothing on the ground, where it's like, just accepts it and just like trying to like taps his head or whatever with the open palms on us. Like, oh my god. I'm sorry. I just have no patience for that shit. This is MMA. This is not kickboxing. This is not boxing. This is not wrestling. This is not jiu-jitsu. This is MMA. You need one striking and one grappling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be the best wrestler. You don't have to be the best boxer. But you need to be able to get up. You need to be able to strike and hold your own and have a threatening offense. And it drives me up the wall when I see fighters that are this incomplete. Like, Giga looked like a fish out of water, man. It just drove me crazy. Yeah, good win for Onama. We'll see what he does with this. I'm pretty sure now he's going to be ranked. That's great. Unfortunately for the Georgians, Giga Chikadze is not elite. He's not going to be another champion. I know Merab likes to champion his countrymen, rightfully so. That's great. But no, I think Merab and Ilya are the only elite Georgians right now. And depending on what Ilya's brother does, we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he's a bit more active and a bit more talkative. But yeah, no. Decent fight, I guess. But when it went to the ground, oh my god, it was painful. Now, the two men next who could rival Merab in the cardio department. Abus Magomedov and Michel Pereira. Oh, man. And you think heavyweight's bad for cardio and physicality and being in shape. Man, was this painful. After the round one, like, Pereira, what the fuck was your game plan, bruh? Holy man. Had nothing for him. And the commentary was like, man, like, what's his plan here? Because round 1, he did fuck all. Round 2, fuck all. And they're like, I guess maybe his plan is to turn it on round 3? I don't know. And yeah, Abus, looked terrible after the first round. Not surprised there. Abus rocked him. And of course, didn't, you're a shredded middleweight. Why would you have the cardio to finish him in midway through a 3-round fight? That's crazy talk. Why would anyone expect that? It's like, that's the thing. These guys, and I know muscle drains, your cardio because it's lactic acid and all that stuff, and a lot of oxygen to push through with all these different movements and stuff. But you guys are athletes. This is a 3-round fight. You're not heavyweight blobs. What are we doing here, man? Like, it was so hard to watch. I'm like, oh my God, it looks amateur. Cut them both. Sorry, not sorry. Like, I'm sorry, man. I just, no. You cannot look like that on the UFC level, especially main card. Like, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hey, maybe the last performance, especially Pereira against Hernandez. Hey, it is what it is. He gassed. Maybe there's something going on in the training department. Maybe something going on behind the scenes. It is what it is. But no, after seeing this, no, it's the same thing every time. Cut them both. I'm sorry. Like, no, that's just unacceptable. You guys aren't. You guys aren't in the little leagues here. You guys are in the UFC. This is unacceptable to have no cardio, especially in that physical condition. What the fuck are you training? Like, I don't know, man. And then Abus is like, oh, I'm here for the top 15. No, you're not. You're not going to get close to the top 5. I mean, like, maybe a lucky punch to get up to rank number 10, because middleweight isn't that deep. But no. Not even close to elite. Not even close. Either one of them. I'm sorry. I don't want to see any of them fight again. Unless it's against some upcoming killer. I don't care to see them fight again. Sorry, not sorry. Next, Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. Man, Randy looked great. Knockout. Like, it was a little bit of in the pocket, you know what I mean? Got a little crazy there. But Randy Brown seemed in control. Dalby's old. I think Dalby should probably call it quits. Randy Brown, he looked great. I think Randy Brown has a good future in this division. Maybe do him versus Prates next. No, I'm not much to say on that other than not really surprised. Randy Brown's got really good frame for this division. He's got really good striking, and I'm just like I said, same thing with Min Yang. I like to see what's next for him. Put him against another striker. Let's see how it goes, because I remember he got pinned against the fence, I guess, it is one of his recent fights, and I just, I think let's give the fans a good fight. Put these really good strikers against really good strikers. We don't need some fence stalling. Let's get them to the races. And then Ikram Alaskara versus Andre Muniz. I didn't watch this one. I was a little late to the card, but from what I've seen on the highlights, like, Ikram looked great. TKO. And he got him out of there. Cleaned up his striking clearly. And no, do I think Ikram's going to be a champion, especially in middleweight? Knowing that Hamzat and Drickus are there, and then he got knocked out by Robert Whittaker. No, but we'll see what's next for him. I think he looked decent, I guess. But no, do I trust him against the elite? No. No, I do not. And that's my kind of reaction to the fight night that just went down. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, lad. On to the next one.